What's been working on for the past few weeks. I added about 42 inches to this harness here. It's definitely a lot of fun. Tried to go up at least 1 gauge size on every wire I added to it, so don't want any resistance or anything, have anything catching on fire. So I had to do that because that's going to mount under here. That plug goes into the dash, and then I'm going to try to mount this right here under where the center console is going to go. I'm going to try to test fit all this, and hopefully I had enough. I think I added 6 inches extra, honestly, but I'm just going to try to slide it there and see if it'll fit. That's probably a little bit better angle, so this is the plug that I have to hook this plug to. I'm going to try to go above the steering shaft and behind the throttle, above it, and then route it over here to the middle. That's the plan anyway. I'm still going to have to, got some other wires to work with, but this is the main, this is the bulk of the issue here. Alrighty, so I got the wires routed around the gas pedal above the steering shaft. Still got a bit of bracket for that, but I'm planning on all this crap up here for the front end. That's all for headlights and turn signals and stuff. I'm not gonna worry about that right now, but this fuse box and this fuse box will be under here. This is my LS fuse box for the fuel pump and injectors and all that stuff. It's gonna be close to that, like that. So I'm planning on mounting it somewhere close. It's right over here. And this is the factory bracket. I want to modify it so I can run the LS harness up under it and mount the PCM on this side of it somewhere. I had to get the harness extender before I could do any of that stuff. Didn't even know where any of it was going to go. So I can extend some of this and delete some of it, but don't worry about that after I get it in place. I might have added too much, but I figured if I had too much, I just took it up. Maybe better than having to add some more after I already added that much to it, because that took some time. Soldering all that in, heat shrinking and everything. So I might end up going above this. There's a bracket right here. I might end up going above that. Kind of leave it back this way. There'll be a center console right here anyway, so it'll all be hidden. But that counter right there. This will be on kind of something like that, probably, maybe. Let's get a little closer to the hole, honestly. Probably something like that, honestly. Got enough room to have this PCM in here. Which means I might change that center console out, the jump seat, so I may have a little more room to go back here. My light just shut off, so maybe I'll still see, but I might have a little more room to go back this way still. But definitely go back towards the dash a little bit. I may end up building a custom bracket for the fuse box instead of using that old junky one. Alright, so got my light back going. Shout out to my wife for giving that light to me. That phone holder. Hopefully the videos will be a little better now. What I got, so this right here is going to be around this area somewhere. Probably a little bit higher. Probably about like that, I imagine. Just kind of have these wires going under it. So I got this right here. This is an organizer or something off of Amazon for a Suburban, I think. But it's got a lip all the way on the edge. So the center console I build, I can put this on top of it and make it easily removable. So whenever I need to check the fuses, I can pretty much, I'll have magnets or something on there, maybe a couple screws, but I can pull it out and all my fuses will be right below it for the LS harness and for the factory Ford stuff. So that's the plan right now. So I still gotta get this junky bracket right here. I gotta get it either, I have to bend it a little different or just build a whole new bracket. Just cut these tabs off and build something new. But as far as I made it right now, so far. So actually looking at this, I'll probably end up cutting these brackets down. I don't need that much height under there. I can chop these off and make it shorter, which would in turn make it where I can drop this a little bit lower so my console isn't way too high. So I could, ideally I could get it where I can still open this tray, not that I use it, but it'd be kind of nice to have it right here or lower. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, if I could drop that down to where the plug in, so all the plugs are right on top. So if I could drop that down 2 inches, I'd have to drop this down 2 inches and have it, you know, relatively low. And I can still be able to mount this on the side of it like it used to be when it was under the hood. Oh yeah, that's steel. I can definitely weld to that. So I can cut that. I can cut that off and weld it way lower. That'll make everything easier. So I still got all these wires. Shorten this one a lot because I'm gonna have a power distribution block probably right here, either under the center console or back here behind the jump seat. I'm not sure yet. So I get all this crap figured out before I even try to figure out all the headlight wiring and make a new harness for the headlights and all that stuff. So that'll be down the road, but this is the main concern right now. Just take a little gander at it. Use that junk. That's good enough, whatever. It don't matter. these are symmetrical. I guess either way, whatever I do, I still got to cut these down. These LS mount brackets. Probably cut them as low as I can, honestly. So I'll probably end up cutting, what's it? At least 2 inches off of it. That ain't work very good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably cut 2 inches off of that. Maybe 2 1/8 inches off of that. And I can weld that, cut that section out, weld it back together. This will be a lot lower profile. And then I can run these wires for the PCM under that box. It'll be a whole lot easier, I think. So that's probably what I end up doing right there. Yep. All right. All right, so I'm gonna pull the PCM off of the brackets, but before I do that, I'm gonna have to do a 1/4 inch ratchet. Actually, all my 1/4 inch ratchets are in the garage, so put it way down to. I should be able to use either side for either side, so I shouldn't have to mark them or anything. I will double check that before I take them completely off. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're identical. I'm pretty sure they're identical. Yeah. Alright. Cool. Get these marked up, and it's about 10:45 at night. Might go ahead and cut them, honestly. Shouldn't be too loud. We'll see. I got old Trusty here. Most of the paint off with the grinder, so the old flap wheel. So I hit it with the old torque polisher, sanding pad on it, clean it a little bit better. Probably thinking, why in the world would he worry about polishing that up and cleaning it up when he's going to be cutting most of it off anyway? Well, the more accurate I can mark it, the more accurate I can cut it, the easier it'll be to weld it, and that'll save me time. Sure, I'd rather spend a little bit of time doing this than more time filling gaps and welding it crooked. Alright, I got these clean enough to at least put a mark on, so I'm going to try to mark these up real quick. Get the slicing. Alright, I got them marked up pretty good. I like to use a fine point Sharpie because that's about the best thing you can get a fine line. We use a big Sharpie. You can see the difference right here. Use a big Sharpie. Show why that line is. I mean, that's not, these aren't really high tolerance, I guess, but the cleaner I can mark it, the cleaner I can cut it. Easier be the weld. So we get to chopping. also, other thing to pay attention to is which side of the line you want to cut on. So I'm cutting this section out, so I'm going to cut on that side of this line, on the bottom side of that line. Like I said, not high tolerance or anything, but better to have good habits when you're cutting stuff. I when I was going side to side, I've had times in the past where I tried to cut through and then cut through, and I ended up, instead of being straight, I ended up cutting a big sideways notch, and then ain't that big of a deal, but it's one more thing to fix. So hindsight, I probably should have marked this on the other side of that bracket to be easier to see when I'm cutting, but that'll probably be all right. This old light rigged up. I guess I could just scoot this over. Sliced off. That looks like garbage. All right. Now I can get this. I trim it down some, make it a little better, but I'm just welding that on top there. Make that bracket a whole lot shorter. So throw this other one up here and cut it real quick. Wish those cuts would have been as precise as those marks. That would have been good. Looks like I'm gonna stick these on here. Clean them up real good first. I'm gonna weld them on there. I'll probably clean my booger welds off of it. Throw some paint on it, I guess, sometime when it's warmer. Alright, so I figure the easiest way to get these back together where they used to be is to mark the center on both of them. I weld them together, and after I get done welding them together, I can smooth it up and make them a little more uniform. Alrighty, I got a clamp on there halfway. I'm holding the other side with my finger, but that'll help most of them in place. Get the old little bit of titanium fired up. As cheap as it is, that's a pretty good little unit there. Get this brown on there, and I will try to tack it up. A little more heat in that unit. Well, it's a wheel. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but it's a wheel. But hold a bridge up, I better to hold a computer up. Alright. I still gotta mark this It's not really perfect, but you can rub your fingers across that gap right there. And you can tell if it's flush or not. So that's one way I always tell. Putting two panels together. There's a gap in there obviously, but I mean you can still feel that that's pretty flush. That one's slightly better. Not good, but slightly better. There's that one. Also not great, but it'll work for what I'm doing. So one bad thing about that flux core welder is all this decum slag and spots it leaves on there. It's not nearly as clean as a MIG, but it's also a couple $100. You don't have to have gas with it, so that's what I'm rocking for right now. This is actually the next night. I had a little bit of time today to paint these brackets up and go ahead and mount them on there and see what they look like. So what they look like now. 2 inches shorter. I mean, it's not the best looking thing in the world, but it's going to be under a console. And it should work good, so I can slide the, this is the wire, probably will slide up under it, this main yellow wire. Here's the distribution block. That should be plenty of room for that to slide up under there. So we can go back towards that where the distribution block's going to be. So I mean, so it's not perfect, but good enough for me for right now. So there's that. One less thing I got to worry about now. This is probably the most fun video you ever watched, but if y'all watched this far, I sure appreciate it. And make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. If y'all got something that y'all think I should change, that'll make the videos better, or make the organization of the shop better, because it's definitely a mess. So If there's something you think could be better, then leave in the comments now. Try to do the best I can. Thank y'all.